What up? What up? I got some moment. I got some time. So, this is the second part of the video I did about where Dragon Ball is going. Some stuff came up, so I had pretty much. I got in. People came by, a certain individual, so I cut it. But this is part two of where Dragon Ball is headed and where I was at last time. I was talking about where Dragon Ball's at, in my opinion, where it's headed, where I think it'll go, where what I think. I was pretty much saying that Dragon Ball Super kind of, I think, toned it down to where it's kind of like a Pokemon type animation. Toned it down where it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh type thing, just so they could catch the attention of the modern child, because obviously the way Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT and Dragon Ball was animated and the times it was done, it was different timing. The art scene was different. So I think that's where, in my opinion, I'm like, they kind of ruined it, because I don't think the kids, or maybe they will, I don't know, but I don't think the kids will grow up and be as amazed with Dragon Ball Super. The kids that are new to it, that got introduced to it, like we were amazed when we got introduced to Dragon Ball Z. You know, back in the 90s, when I was a kid, I started watching it maybe like in 1992, 1993 on Canal 22. I've mentioned that before. And it was just like, boom, mind-blowing. And I saw, when I was watching Dragon Ball Super, I don't know if it's because I'm older, like I said, and I'm trying to be open-minded, but it just didn't hit me the same as Dragon Ball Z. And I think Dragon Ball GT kind of still did a little better in the storylines than, even though people don't consider it canon, I think they did better in the storylines than Dragon Ball Super. Like I said, I think I mentioned in my last video, my favorite saga was the Trunks saga with Goku Black, because it was an actual villain, it was an actual like fight, and it was actual good storyline. It was survival mode. Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power, it wasn't a villain thing. It was just, it wasn't a real story arc. It was just a tournament, and you had to survive, So they couldn't kill. So it wasn't really, it was a survival thing, but not really a survival, They couldn't give it all they got, because they could have killed somebody. It was pretty much knocking someone out of the ring. I liked Super. I liked the characters they introduced. I really was a fan of Jiren. I was a fan of Hit. Those were good characters. I'm a fan of Kaba, the Saiyan. I think they should have. I hope eventually Dragon Ball Super, the people make a storyline regarding the Saiyan world. I think it's Universe 7. Their twin universe of Goku, where there's actual Saiyans and still a planet of the Saiyans. I hope they eventually bring a storyline with that world, that universe, introduce a bunch of characters, have a saga on it, not make a whole series or a whole 1,000 episodes, but make a saga where they need, where something happens, where Universe 7 has to go over there, or the universe where Goku and Vegeta's at have to go over there, and they do a good storyline, introduce history, introduce certain characters, and make that awesome with good art, But we'll see where they go. I follow a couple of people that are in YouTube that are in that world, that all they do is make videos of Dragon Ball. Every day is a content of Dragon Ball. I'm not a Dragon Ball channel. I'm just speaking my opinion, and I grew up on it, and I'm a fan till now. I'm a fan of the movies. I really like the movies. I hope they continue making movies. Obviously not forever, but because eventually they got to take a break, because people, and take a break for a couple years until they introduce a new storyline. But wherever in the movies, like I've stated, I think they did a real good job on the movies. I just don't like how they incorporated the Frieza and the Battle of the Gods saga from the movies into the anime and redid it all. And I was talking about it in my other video, how I think the fan-made animations are taking it to the roots, and that's what I like. And I think that's why they're doing better, because they're taking it to where we left off in the beginning as kids, where they left it off, and they're continuing that storyline and they're doing original. So I hope the Dragon Ball content creators do something good, man, because from my understanding, the people that actually read the, I haven't read the, I don't read the mangas, and in the mangas, they're at the after the tournament of power, they had the Moro arc. The Moro arc is, I think, a demon type guy, and I was following that where people were reading the storyline as the manga dropped, but after a certain point, I stopped it, and I was seeing the reviews where they thought it was going good, and all of a sudden, it just smashed. Like I said, I'm just seeing reviews, because not even reading them, of what people think, people's reactions. So I kind of stopped where it's at. So I don't know how good that storyline was, that arc, and I know they started after that one they did the Granola arc, which then introduced Ultra Ego Vegeta. I would like to see Ultra Ego Vegeta in animation. I've seen some fan guys that make Ultra Ego fan made cartoons where they make Ultra Ego Vegeta, and they look sick. Like I said, hopefully the real guys, the real Toei Animation and whoever, there's Akira Toriyama, and then there's Akira Toriyama's protege, the guy who's taking over all the art for the mangas and everything. I forget his name, but I hope they do a good thing, man, and I hope they take it to a different type of environment, back to the original. So if you guys hear this out, take it back to the original, man, for the fans and for the new kids. Don't make it too kid friendly. I mean, it has, obviously it's for the kids at the end of the day, pero no lo hagan too kid friendly, man. Dragon Ball Z, it was rough and raw. They did what they had to do, and it was still kid friendly. So that's where I hope that right now it's the Granola arc where they introduce the Heater clan. Like I said, I don't know too much about it. I wish I am more of an anime guy where I like to see the art, but people that follow and read all those things, I've caught on to a couple episodes on YouTube on their pages. I go over it a little bit, and it seems like they're always disappointed on where it ends up. And like I said, I don't know who's controlling all this, if it's Akira Toriyama or they're just having fun with it, or no sé qué, pero I hope Dragon Ball Z continues, or the Dragon Ball title in general continues doing what is awesome about it. And I hope they change the art style, because I understood que también Dragon Ball Super had a bunch of fresh, newly artist people. No le echaron ganas. I'll tell you that. That's where Dragon Ball Super no le echó ganas in the art. The best art in Dragon Ball Super that I saw was when Vegeta fought Jiren, and Jiren did that blast on Vegeta, and Vegeta was getting the upper hand for a few. That was the best art, in my opinion, that Dragon Ball Super released, because it had the original type style art, but with modern touches to it, with modern color, the new technology they have. And I would love to see Dragon Ball like that. The whole thing. Obviously, because of money and stuff like that, they have to. I know, because Dragon Ball Z, for the most part, a high percentage was quality art, and certain things they toned it down. But as long as they match something like that, I think the fans, the people, would be happy. Because I know even la gente mexicana in Mexico are big old fans of Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball series. So I hope they continue. Like, I liked the fact that the Broly thing was a good movie. It was an awesome movie. It brought back Saiyan stuff, because that's at the end that's what Dragon Ball's about. Super Saiyans. So I'd wish they bring back more Saiyan culture. Obviously the Saiyans are dead, but with Broly movie they brought that back to where they do backstories and brought Broly. But it was just like I say, I think they go too far in the power scaling. I liked the anime. I liked it all. It was 100% to me. But if I think about it, it's like, how did Broly, match Super Saiyan Blue? No matter what. Like, how did he match Super Saiyan Red? Yeah, maybe he could have caught up to Super Saiyan 2, his strength, for never even training, never even achieving stuff like that. But he, at a normal form, he was already stronger than Super Saiyan, than a Super Saiyan God. You know, that's where I'm like, their power level scaling. They have to tone that down. Tienen que cambiar eso. They're already at super high point, but it's like they gotta tone it down. And I mentioned this in my prior video, so go check my prior video out. I do talk a little bit about that. They power it down. But I want to see some more Dragon Ball content coming up. I hope they do fix this situation. This is just my opinion on where I would want it to be headed, where I think it's headed. I hope they don't make it still too kid friendly. I think they're gonna do a online thing where it's based on the on on the on the storyline of Dragon Ball Superhero, on that content. And it looks like they're gonna show, it's gonna be about Goten and Trunks being more grown up, and it's gonna be a limited, I think, like a mini series. I'm not sure, don't quote me on it, but I hope they don't like ruin the Dragon Ball dreams that we have. You know, I'm an adult, but I still have that Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball expectation that I want to see, because it, you know how it is. If you're a fan, you know what I mean. It brings you that live emotion. So I hope they bring back Dragon Ball to life, make it good. Like I said, there's another online series. I don't know if they show it in Japan, but we could only see it here online. It's Dragon Ball Heroes, which has a bunch of characters that they bring up, and new characters, where they incorporate all the characters. Like Trunks can fight Bardock pretty much, and stuff like that. So, and there's a Super Saiyan 4 Broly. They bring Super Saiyan God from a different universe, Blue, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta from a different universe. Turles from the Tree of Might is pretty much like a Super Saiyan también. And so they bring a bunch of characters, but that's not my style. I don't think they're doing a good job, in my opinion. Like I said, it's just for show, and it's not canon. And I don't think they're doing a good job in that aspect. I haven't really kept up with it, because I just don't think they're doing justice to the fans and to Dragon Ball. And it's, I guess, for the kids, again, for the new kids, the new era, the new generation coming up. But I don't think that's gonna bring those kids, when they're older, like my age, they're not gonna remember Dragon Ball like we did. So I hope this is the end of my video. I hope Dragon Ball, the content continues. They keep dropping good stuff as good as the movies that they've been releasing. The past 4 or 5 movies they released: Battle Gods, Return of Frieza, the Broly movie, and Dragon Ball Superhero. I hope they bring content like that, at least, where the art is okay, the storylines are good, and they base it on actual storylines. They don't just try to make quick ideas and make it work. Make it good. It's your boy Dwell, part 2 of Where's Dragon Ball Headed. Like and subscribe, drop a comment, go check out the rest of my videos. Peace.